Sadhana through work. It is quite possible for you to do sadhana at home and in the midst of your work. Many do so. What is necessary in the beginning is to remember the mother as much as possible, to concentrate on her in the heart for a time every day. If possible, thinking of her as the Divine Mother, to aspire to feel her there within you. Offer her your works and pray that from within she may guide and sustain you. This is a preliminary stage which often takes long. But if one goes through it with sincerity and steadfastness, the mentality begins little by little to change, and a new consciousness opens in the sadhak, which begins to be aware more and more of the mother's presence within. Our work, our working in the nature and in the life, or of some other spiritual experience, which opens the gate towards realization. It is for most people not easy to feel the mother's presence with the work. They feel as if they are doing the work, the mind getting busy and not having the right passivity or quietude. Everybody is in the mother, but one must become conscious of that, not of the work only. There should be not only a general attitude, but each work should be offered to the mother so as to keep the attitude a living one all the time. There should be at the time of work no meditation, for that would withdraw the attention from the work. But there should be the constant memory of the one to whom you offer it. This is only a first process. For when you can have constantly the feeling of a calm being within, concentrated in the sense of the divine presence, while the surface mind does the work, or when you can begin to feel always that it is the mother's force that is doing the work and you are only a channel or an instrument, then in place of memory, there will have begun the automatic, constant realization of yoga, divine union in works. The feeling that all one does is from the divine, that all action is the mother's, is a necessary step in experience. But one cannot remain in it. One has to go further. Those can remain in it who do not want to change the nature, but only to have the experience of the truth behind it. Your action is according to universal nature, and in that again, it is according to your individual nature, and all nature is a force put out by the Divine Mother for the action of the universe. But as things are, it is an action of the ignorance and the ego, while what we want is an action of the divine truth, unveiled and undeformed by the ignorance and the ego. So when you feel that your actions are all done by the force, that is Shakti of the Mother, that is the true experience. But the will of the Mother is that all you do should be done not by her force in nature as now, but her own direct force in the truth of her nature, the higher divine nature. So also it was correct what you thought afterwards, that Unless there is this change, the experience that all you do is done by her will cannot be altogether true. So it will not be permanent till then. For if it were permanent now, it might keep you in the lower action as it does many and prevent or retard the change. What you need as a permanent experience now is that of the Mother's force working in you in all things to change this ignorant consciousness and nature into her divine consciousness and nature. It is the same with the truth about the instrument. It is true that each thing is an instrument of the cosmic Shakti, therefore of the Mother. But the aim of the sadhana is to become a conscious and perfect instrument instead of one that is unconscious and therefore imperfect. One can be a conscious and perfect instrument only when one is no longer acting in obedience to the ignorant push of the lower nature, but in surrender to the Mother and aware of her higher force acting within oneself. So here too your intuition was perfectly true. But all this cannot be done in a day. So you are once more right in not being anxious or uneasy. One must be vigilant, but not anxious and uneasy. The Mother's force will act and bring the result in its own time, provided one offers all to her and aspires and is vigilant, calling and remembering her at all times, rejecting quietly all that stands in the way of the action of her transforming force. Your second view of this was more from the right angle of vision than the first. To say, it is not I who have to act, so I need not mind, is to say too much. One has to act in so far as one has to aspire, offer oneself, assent to the Mother's working, reject all else, more and more surrender. All else will be done in time. There is no need for anxiety or depression or impatience. What you received and kept in the work is indeed the true basic consciousness of Karma Yoga, the calm consciousness from above supporting and the strength from above doing the work. With that, the Bhakti which feels it to be Mother's consciousness present and working. You know now by experience what is the secret of Karma Yoga.